What's going on, guys? I just want to give you this quick insert clip here before we play this next video for you guys. I am home now. The trip out to Fleece was actually a very short 2-day trip. That's the reason why we didn't have a whole lot of time for meetups and stuff like that. We're going to be back out there plenty of times in the near future, so I will make sure that we go out in a decent enough time to, you know, meet all you guys and stuff like that. But I just want to let you guys know I am home. Wednesday's video coming up will be back to normal schedule. Spent the last couple days when I got back here with the wife, just catching up on a lot of things. So a couple more Fleece videos that we recorded while we were out there, and then we'll be back to normal scheduling. So make sure you guys have watched all of the Fleece videos. There's 4 of them total, the last 4 that I've posted. Well, 2 and then these 2. But check them out. Make sure you guys are giving them a big thumbs up, and then we'll be back to normal schedule in the next day or 2. So thank you guys. I'll see you soon. Good afternoon, guys. What's going on? We are back here with Braden from Fleece again. We are now in Pumpland, and we are going to learn all about Fleece's CP3s that they offer. There's a lot of cool and interesting things all done in-house here, just like everything else that you guys need to know about.
So I've got a couple of pumps here. These are, let's see, a 6.7 Dodge and a LBZ pump, DURAMAX. But they're both PowerFlow 750s, which are 10mm stroke. Factory stroke is roughly 8mm, 8.2mm stroke. What that equates to, we can take what, you know, a max effort tuning and turbo truck that makes 600 horsepower. We rate it at 750, but a lot of times we see 800 horsepower out of a 10mm. We've got a 13mm cam coming out. I think, now this one's a 10, but
so one of the key features of
this is the most important part is this cam, and I think we're the only people that are making them in-house, and you know, you can see we've got good quality there. Put our logo and the exact size on there. We had some people trying to claim that they were Fleece pumps and selling them here and there, and to combat that problem, we just put our logo on it. And
because these are your own profile, your own, pretty much everything.
100%. I mean, we've got to
from the ground up.
You got to stay within the factory design, but yeah, we do things a little different than the other people that are making cams. But really good surface finishes. A lot of people, when you have to make an offset or something off center, will do. They'll have things ground. We do all this in a lathe. This is hard turning, which is a really cool process with a diamond insert, and we create that surface finish after heat treat in a turning operation. It's much more efficient. It gets a better surface finish in the amount of time, and works really well. But
so on top of the 750 for your kind of like, you know, more along your advanced level, the CP3K is
it's our beginner pump. I mean, if you've got if you're adding a pump to the truck, or you're adding dual pumps, we include a CP3K in our kit, or you can get it without. But the CP3K is kind of a smash up of words. It's 3K, meaning 3,000 RPMs is where the normal pump starts to throttle. That's built in from Bosch. They designed that to stop producing volume above 3,000 because most of the manufacturers, Dodge and GM, were both having 3,000, 3,200 RPM redline. So they didn't need it to make any excess fuel above 3. Well, that's no fun. So we take out all those throttling features so that they'll continue to produce volume above that. Now, there's various internal modifications that have to be done on a 10mm, and with our PowerFlow 1000, which should be out here shortly, that's a 13mm stroke. It's like you make the engine bigger, you got to make the cylinder heads flow better, and the same thing with the pump. So, and not only just for making those higher volume pumps flow, those throttling modifications and those flow modifications are important so that as we continue to make more powerful trucks that run higher RPM ranges, we've got to make those pumps continue to produce output at 4,000, 4,500, 5,000 RPMs.
As everything gets bigger and bigger.
Yes, and that's one of those things that we spend a lot of time on our test stand figuring out, okay, how do we make this pump flow or continue to flow at 45 or continue the same output at 5,000. We run the standard size pulleys. Some of these shops are getting bigger and bigger diameter pulleys to slow the pumps down, but I'd rather make the pump work better and run it at higher RPM, which gets us better flow.
So on top of the cams, which are a major difference Another is the fact that they're not remans at all.
These are brand new pumps. Yep.
All fleece pumps are brand new.
I'll be the first to tell you, you can find cheaper pumps out there, but you will not find a more reliable pump. I mean,
Quality.
5,000 of these pumps out there are better. I mean, we go through 1,500 brand new pumps a year, and we don't even want your cores back. I mean, there was a point in time where we had some stuff set up with other people that were buying cores, and we'd tell you where to go to sell it, and it's even, you know, more off of your purchase price. But nope, we want to start with brand new cores. Unlike the turbos are less complicated. The precision that is involved inside of this pump, the plungers are matched to the bores. It's just not something that we trust at this point in the game to be able to remanufacture to the level of quality that we expect.
You mentioned the CP3K and the 10 millimeter and the 750. Start from power levels or setups. Where would you advance to one versus the other?
Well, the 3K, I mean, we'll be the first people on the phone to tell you, hey, if you've got a stock pump, you're not going to see what you want to see buying a CP3K as a replacement. Your volume or your displacement didn't increase. Your throttling modification is where you're going to gain there.
You wouldn't put that pump on a truck with 100% overs. It's not going to.
Well, no. I mean, if you've got 100% overs, you need, you know, a power flow 750, a 10 millimeter. But we've got guys that'll run CP3Ks on a fresh build. Run a CP3K and some 45% over nozzles. That's fine, because typically you're pulling the duration back. If it's properly tuned, yeah, you will see a pretty good running setup that way. But, you know, the 10 millimeter, it seems everybody wants to overbuy, and there's a point where you definitely can overbuy on pumps. I mean, you see guys out there running two 12 millimeters, two 13s. You know, that's 2,300 horse worth of fuel at the tire. So, you know, our UCC truck's got 3 12s, about to be 3 13s, but, you know, we're expecting 3,000 horsepower. I mean, the bar's been set. But 10 millimeter, it catches. It can be a stock replacement, no problem. You won't have any drivability issues. It can catch just a tuning only truck and know that you're future proofing your truck for a build.
So it's not like a turbo that starts here and goes through this range. The 10 can start, you know, right at and go all the way up to handle.
Yeah. You won't have any issues.
You know, 8-ish, you know, rated at 750, but, you know,
yeah, we've seen 8
on the high end.
Quarter.
Okay.
People wonder, like, well, only 750 horse, but I want the guy with the worst setup and the worst tuning ability to be able to at least have that, or the stingiest dyno, you know, to
still
be able to
have the
750.
Awesome.
And knowing that that's a conservative rating, we've had a 13 make 1,100 horse.
Okay,
so
awesome.
That's a single turbo, single pump.
Here's all the new the crate of new pumps that we start with.
These are straight from Bosch in Germany. A bunch of pumps there. Got a bunch. We get 60 at a time. Sometimes we double up during the busy season on orders, but there's always a skid or two of CP3s coming in. And this is our test stand. That was a power steering pump test stand, and excuse the mess. We repurposed it for a different test for something new coming out that you'll see here pretty soon. But it was a power steering pump test stand that we got out of a Ford plant, Visteon, and repurposed it into a CP3 test stand. It's a 30 horsepower electric motor that runs it, and we test every pump that leaves here. So unless the UPS driver installed it, we know it's a good pump before it gets in your truck. Back
out here on the test stand, just to show you guys a couple more things, along with your CP3 here that you would normal bolt in your factory location. For those getting into the wild side of things, Fleece does also, as most of you guys know, have their own dual pump kit, along with a lot of stuff to help you guys out with installation and fine-tuning your setup.
Yep. So the dual pump kit, I mean, we obviously have, it's Indiana, there's a lot of truck pulling and competition stuff and drag trucks being built, and you know, we made our dual pump kit a little different. It doesn't mount up here on the cylinder head. Most kits utilize these 3 bolts, and you know, if you have a failure at the track, or if you have a failure that you need to fix quickly, and you want to leave as much stuff on the truck as possible, you can get the cylinder head off with our kit. You just take a few lines off here, the whole cylinder head can come off in the truck. Your fuel and belts and all the stuff stays. And then with that, you know, we've got some competition fuel systems that we've developed, and You know, with the dual pumps, we wanted to do the low pressure stuff as well. Nice distribution block. This is a regulated return setup. It's got an internal poppet with a preset relief pressure. A lot of our drag trucks and pulling trucks, we run a mechanical fuel pump that's like 7 gallons a minute, and so we sell a lot of these to the really high performance crowd. But the same block works for the average guy. That just, you get our distribution block without regulated return. You may not even have dual pumps yet, but you're set up for it. We include all the plugs to block off everything until you're ready for dual pumps.
Yeah, so this is like the Mac Daddy version, and then you also have two below that, which one's a little bit, you know,
fuel filter delete.
Fuel filter delete.
It's got an extra port for a return to come back into it from your dual pump kit.
Right.
Yep. But we try to give you the most options, and it's just stuff that we've developed out of necessity, because we're like, man, we can make this better, we can make it cleaner, and whenever we go to design something, we try to think of all the, you know, ways that we can make it better for every scenario.
And it's fine-tuned before it leaves here. Nothing like, you know, having to run out to grab one more 90 or, you know, one more straight, you know, when you're during the installation.
And you might not have access to AN fittings you know, not everybody does. And so we include all those in the kit, and if you buy this, you've got everything. If you're going to put it on your driveway, you're going to be able to get to work on Monday. That's the thing that, you know, we were average guys doing the stuff in the driveway or in our, you know, at the farm in our grandpa's garage or his, you know, barn. We were working on tractors and stuff, and it's you're scrambling for a brass fitting and then a galvanized and then trying to make your fuel system complete. And you know, even down to these high flow fittings. I mean, that's an odd metric thread. And then we're using like a 1/2-inch hose, so that kind of stuff's not going to be at your local hardware store.
Yep. The metric stuff is definitely not going to be available.
Yep.
And then coming over to here, DURAMAX side, CP3 things. What is this engine showcasing?
It's an LML, 2011 and up, 11 to 16, because 17 is the new L5P, the unbreakable L5P, uncrackable. But this is a CP3 conversion, so they come with a CP 4.2, which was most likely a cost-saving measure. It's a 2-plunger pump. It was enough fuel output for that application, you know, 300 and some horsepower. You can get about 500 out of them, but they're just not reliable. They're not like the, you know, the gold standard of pumps, the CP3. So we designed a kit and fuel line back in early 2011 to convert over to the old style. GM was good enough to stay common in the engine block and with the adaptation method that it all bolts right on. So we had to make a few lines. I should note that these lines, we've got a set to leave your factory fuel filter, or we've got another setup that you can just abandon all that, and if you've got a aftermarket fuel system, you can run that too.
Do some deleting.
But all this stuff, these lines are made by a tier 1 supplier to GM. We're finally doing business at a high enough volume that we're getting parts, you know, 1,000 pieces at a time that are run on a CNC mandrel bender. The things are perfect. They were designed in CAD, and they fit perfectly.
Right. So even though these are technically aftermarket parts, the fit, finish, and quality is of OE standards.
OE
right.
Supplier quality.
Absolutely.
Same here. I mean, this is made by the same company that makes these lines.
Alrighty guys, that's going to wrap up our CP3 talk discussion on everything that Fleece has to offer as far as CP3s goes. If you want any more information, pictures, knowledge, fleeceperformance.com has you covered. Make sure you guys use GREGA as a discount code, save you a couple bucks. Make sure you hit that like button before you leave, subscribe if you have not already. I'll see you guys very soon. See ya.